I
good,
love
brother.
that so much. I love it
Yo.
every time we play it.
Bro, been getting a lot of hit ups, man, in terms of like how good that sounds, man. So what's happening with you, man? We ride or die in this place, man. Next
I
to
love that.
the end.
Yeah.
And so went, man, trying to celebrate my birthday. Hoping for some good vibes. Knicks versus Pistons, and man, we got asses rocked. And so one of the major takeaways that I've witnessed in these three bouts of Knicks versus Pistons is Kate Cunningham. Bro, he's the real deal. And like when you look at his game as a ball player, like if you're looking at his game, it's like, he ain't really doing much or whatever, bro. It's kind of like Shea Gilchrist. It's like, yo, he's not really doing. But then when you see him in person and you see everybody else not being able to stop him, right? Then it makes you have
stuff without the ball too, right? Like he's super active without the ball, right? And those people are just hard to play against because you don't know when they're gonna strike, right? And so he's not standing around with his hand up being like ball. He's moving. He's like he moves around a lot, and those folks are tough,
bro. And they look tough, man. They look tough. They look like they may go a far way, and we may not.
Listen, anything can happen in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. We saw, but I want to be able to do it without there being any injuries, right? Like I don't want anybody to be like, you won because this person got hurt or whatever.
Because Tatum's not around, yeah.
But the Pistons look tough, man. Shout out to the Pistons.
No,
and so how do we rebound, man? What I'm like not literally rebound, but like how do we...
Well, it starts with how do we rebound?
Facts.
I mean, I just what the problem is that I feel like some of our most important players are like so streaky that like sometimes I watch Cat and I'm like, yo, this dude like this dude.
Did you see the first half he had? You saw the first half he had?
Yeah, and he turns it on.
He looks so regular and so basic.
But that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes he goes out there and you're like, yo, this dude's a star. Like we stole Cat, right? And then sometimes you're like, oh, this is why we got Cat.
Yeah, it's like there's a good cat and a bad cat.
That's right. He's super streaky.
And we stuck with the bad cat. Yeah.
And I don't think he has that like. I hate to like. I am not comparing him to Michael Jordan in any way, but like Jordan had that ability to like turn it on when he needed to turn it on. It was just like, all right,
he had the dog in him. They call that the dog. He had the dog in him.
No, he had the dog in him. And he like Cat's got no dog in him. Like I feel like he doesn't. You don't. Not only is he streaky, you can't tell what's gonna bring him in the streak and bring him out of the streak. It's like super random. And like as long as he's streaky, you're gonna get 8-game win streaks and then a tough loss to Detroit, right? Like that. That's what's gonna happen.
Bro, he's probably a sports psychologist's nightmare. Because I can just imagine like some of the stuff that he says and like how you got to talk him off the roof and like, bro, I wouldn't want to be the person that's sitting on the couch across from Cat having to like have that mirror in order for him to be reflective in terms of how he shows up.
But could you imagine if Alvarado had his skill set, his body, his length?
And that heart? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like that, like
you can't
that's
coach height.
Stop him.
You can't coach height. You cannot coach height, bro. And if you're 7 feet tall and you're struggling with to get 9 rebounds,
6 wingspan.
That's just and you barely dunk. Every time you go to the hole, you're flopping. It's crazy, bro. And so I don't understand. But here we are.
All
right.
It's what we always talk about, right? It's like what's the identity of this team? Is this a like we're gonna wear you down team? Is this like the question is what's the identity of the team? And I don't know, like we're most of the way through the season. I don't know if there is one.
Yeah. Even with a new coach, right? Like we could have did this shit with Tibbs.
Brunson would have been a lot more tired, but we could have done the same thing with it.
Yeah, and nobody would be being developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got a big show today. All right, so first and foremost, man. So when Charlie Kirk passed away, there was this motion for flags to fly at half-staff. A lot of people were against it. A lot of people didn't really understand it, but folks went with it, right? Because it's a loss, and to some people, you know, it meant more than others, right? And so, in thinking about that, right, why were these flags not flying half-staff yesterday after Reverend Jesse Jackson?
You know why they weren't flying.
Unfortunately, I do.
Well, I mean, look, I'll put it to you this way. Like, I'm one of those people that I think that flying the flag half-staff should be reserved for like presidents, right? Like, to me, that is the so like I'm coming in from that angle, right? In my mind. But to your point, if you're gonna start doing it for other folks, doing it for other folks. And what is you can't take away, right, is the Reverend's, you know, that resume, that career, right? Like that's a man who stood on business, right? And who was vilified for it, who suffered real like physical and emotional harm because of it, and like never wavered from his message and his beliefs. And so from that perspective, like, we should admire who he was as a man, and we should honor his life and what he spent his life doing. I feel that the look you just gave, I felt like something crazy was going to come out.
Nah, I can't. I have to be guarded.
Yeah, we do.
Unfortunately, but like I think because, you know, you don't want to place blame or whatever, you know, and you want to be understanding of like other people's political views, but some of this shit is stupid, man. Like some of it is just is, and like we have to be able to call spades or whatever without, you know, getting into the fray or like or whatever. Like I just think that you're sending a terrible message about who means what in this country by doing it one way and then not doing it the other way, right? And so I just think that, you know, we
I mean, but I mean, the reality is that, you know, Jesse Jackson was vilified. Like, I could remember growing up in the 80s, and like they would talk about him as if
one statement he made. From that one statement, I remember my middle school social studies teacher. I don't remember his name, but I remember I think it was during like Black History Month, and I remember him saying the statement that was made or whatever in terms of like why a certain community felt a certain way with regards to Reverend Jesse Jackson. But what I want to say is this, right? Even in that misstatement, in which he came back and apologized for, right, many times over, it still does not take away from what that man meant to a movement. Okay. And how many people were able to benefit from the movement that he was part of inspiring, right? And I think that when you look at it from that perspective, you know, you got to look at, you know, we all have our things, man. We're all gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you come in, you're like, yo.
I think that, but I also think that I don't know that we've ever taught the civil rights movement in the right way. I think the way it was taught to me was like these two diametrically opposed key figures in King and Malcolm X, right? And like
they weren't really
one, they weren't really opposed, but we
wrong.
we were taught wrong. But also, there were so many names that were left out of that work, right?
Oh,
big and small,
yes,
right? And so, like, I don't know that we ever give credit to the sheer number of people and what everyone did, right? Like, I remember being surprised as a 7th grader and seeing the picture of when King got shot and seeing Jesse Jackson in a picture, because it never dawned on me that those two people were connected, right? And it was just never a thing. And so, like, I don't know that we've ever taught the civil rights movement in the way that it deserves to be taught, which is this social uprising that had not one leader, not two leaders, but multitudes of leaders playing lots of different roles to make the
that showed up in different ways.
That showed up in different ways, that some led from the front, some led from the back, and everything in between. And so, like, I can imagine that a lot of young people right now who should know the impact that Jesse Jackson had on the civil rights movement are clueless, because that's just not the way we teach it. If we're allowed to teach it at all now.
So think about this though, right? Think about what you're saying. You're saying that, you know, it's not being taught properly. They don't want it to be taught at all, right? Like, some people don't want it to be taught at all, and so that's a totally different. I'd rather teach this shit wrong than to not teach it.
I'm not suggesting that they don't teach it, but I think it's important. No, I know. I think it's important that like those of us who know are stewards of those stories, because those stories matter about what happened in in that movement and all the different people, right, who are connected to that. You know me as a proud Puerto Rican, I talk all the time about
LGBTQIA community. The LGBTQIA community spearheaded a lot of the civil rights that you have now, and like they had to play the back based off of their sexuality, based off of how the Black community felt about that during the time. And so, if you know, when you got a Bayard Rustin, for example, right? Like, bro, like spearheaded a lot of things. Folks, y'all need to go watch that documentary. He's also a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Just wanted to put that out there.
Just adding that, and you know, I mean,
add that little sauce in there, you know.
And you know me, I always got to add my Puerto Rican people, like the Young Lords and sort of their movement in New York City and Chicago, and how they were pushing for community supports. And so, like, this was collective action at its best, and we don't teach it that way.
Yeah. So speaking of your people, since you brought that in,
since I brought it up,
right? I'm glad we're here. So Fat Joe was at the game last night, and I want to know how y'all feel about him.
Listen, I love me some Fat Joe. I don't endorse everything that comes out of crazy Fat Joe's mouth, but I love me some Fat Joe. I think, you know, Fat Joe is what he is, right? Fat Joe is what I appreciate about him is that he's been the same person this whole time. He is authentic. He says what he says. I may not agree with what he says sometimes, but I appreciate how authentic he shows up in every space. And I will always have a special place in my heart for Fat Joe, because he brought Big Pun to the world. And so for me, like there's love there. But him and Jada's podcast, sometimes they be wilding, and I just can't.
Bro, I feel like Joe gets a pass because Jada is on the pod, and like, Jada got. I mean, not saying that Fat Joe does not have street cred. He has street cred. I posted something on Threads one time saying Fat Joe is a detriment to the Black community, and folks came at me. Right? They set me straight. Or they tried to, at least. I just limited my comments so that I could control the narrative. But anyway,
I wish he would clean up his language a little bit. Like, I think what played when he was 18,
or either clean up your language or lean into your Afro-Latina, right? Like, lean into
it. Yeah, right? But even then, like, I'm like, listen, like, be easy, man. I know. Was it on the TV show Blackish where they gave him a pass? Fat Joe could say it. I'm like, nah, I don't know that he can.
Right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it bothers the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie.
It bothers me too. Whenever he does it, and I flinch whenever he does it. And look, there was a time growing up in the mid '90s where that came off of everybody's tongue super loosely. And so he's a product of that time, but we grown folk now. Let's act grown.
We are adults, right? And so we should be able to say, hey, we should be able to say reflectively, hey, I'm looking at this a little bit different now than when I was looking at it before. And so based off of that, but he's not doing that. He's not reflective at all.
No, and Jada is not calling him on it, so he gonna keep being right. He gonna keep doing it. So
well, I don't expect Jada to, whatever. Anyway, next topic is that they are restoring the enslavement exhibit in Philadelphia. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it is ridiculous that we even ever want history to be erased, any history to be erased. We need to like, that is an important part of who we are as a country. It's an important part of how we are, where we are as a country. That history is too important to be erased. And so I was horrified when it was taken down, and I am now grateful that it's going back up, and cooler and smarter heads prevailed in that space. It didn't seem to me like
should they have should cooler and smarter heads have to prevail in an instance in which is just common sense that he's out here just like doing dumb stuff?
Yeah, but see, I think so. I think I said in our text message earlier today, I think a lot of what this administration wants is the initial press and the initial excitement and the initial outrage. And then they actually don't care on the back end what they got, what they wanted already, which was sort of the initial kerfuffle up front. And so we shouldn't have to, but I think this is the game we're playing now, right? Is that they do something and there has to be sort of pushback, usually legal pushback through the courts. And then they're like, all right, well then I'm gonna back off it. Then they find another way to sort of achieve the same ends. But really the ends, I think, are just to continue to stoke the kind of discontent in the public around these topics. There shouldn't be discontent. There shouldn't be disagreement on these types of things, but there is. And I feel like they are winning by fanning the flames of that, of the fact that there's disagreement in the public around it.
Yeah. And I hate that for us. And so
I do.
I'm going to be in Philly in the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to make it my mission to go to that exhibit, right? Because I feel like, we never know when there's going to be instances in which things are going to be taken away from us. And so a lot of stuff like that exhibit, we take for granted, right? Until people pull it away. And so now I definitely want to put some eyes on it so that, we can have these historic moments and cherish them, right? But, you just never know when people are going to try to take it away from you.
Yeah, I mean, not to go back to last week's content, but like this is the whole spirit of the title of Bad Bunny's album, right? Reflecting and appreciating what you have while you have it, so that you, once it's gone, you feel differently about it. And so it's important that we take advantage of the things that we not take for granted, the big and the little things that we have fought for. Right, because there was a lot of fighting to get those types of exhibits put up across this country, and we take them for granted, and we shouldn't.
Yeah, well, thanks for adding that. And yo, Bad Bunny is welcome on this show, regardless of whatever topic we talk about, baby. I'm gonna be fluent in Spanish by the end of the year. Or Puerto Rican Spanish, was
Puerto Rican Spanish. Verdad.
Bro, so Trump's tariffs, they get shut down. The court,
most of
6-3, most of them, yeah. But like the court 6-3 comes in and they're like, nah, we're good with these tariffs. Bro, you had a lot to say about these tariffs when they first came out. right? About the legality and just all the things. What's your thoughts now? Anything change?
I mean, I informed you thusly. I told you they were illegal. I said they couldn't happen. I now have the Supreme Court agreeing with Steve. Although that's not the way that happened, I'll take it.
Bro, we take our wins. However we take our wins, man.
Wins. The problem is the damage is done, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you bought anything online lately, but now there's a lot of companies charging you the tariff tax on top of the cost, like they're showing it to you. The cost of goods is only increased. I don't know about you, but like basic life necessities are just crazy expensive right now. And so my hope is that this helps to bring down prices. But I'm not convinced that anyone's going to hold the administration accountable to listening to the Supreme Court's ruling.
Bro, so here's the thing, right? One, they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do, right? This administration is going to do whatever they want to do. We know that. They've shown us they have a nice track record of doing whatever they want to do. So like that's to be understood. Mm-hmm. The second thing is with regards to prices, bro, I've never seen in the history of price gouging any come back down, right? The only thing that comes back down is gas. That's the only thing that I've seen that comes back down. Anything else, like once it goes sky high, it's never coming back down. I'll give you a perfect example. I don't know if you remember, maybe like 5 years ago, down in Florida and down and over in California, there was something happening with the citrus fruit and in orange juice, right?
Yeah,
and orange juice skyrocketed, right? Mm-hmm. It was like $5 for a half a carton of orange juice Tropicana, right? Yeah. Then they used to make a gallon size Tropicana. They turned that down to 96 ounces. What do they call that? Shrinkflation?
Shrinkflation, yeah.
Shrinkflation. And then the price still remained high for it, right? And so it never came down. And the reason why I'm saying that is because just recently I had this taste for orange juice, and I'm like, shit. 6 years ago, I could have got three cartons of this for $6.
Yeah, no, I feel that way about plátanos. You know, we're a family that eats a lot of plátanos, which is a specialty food here for us Latinos. And they used to be 4 for $1. And so, like,
yes,
if I want to make plátanos 4 for $1 again. I don't know like how we do that, but they're not 4 for $1 now. They're like $1.
That would be making America great. That's making America great again. Getting plátanos like 5 for, and then the ripe joints too. The ripe joints, not the green ones. I'm talking the yellow, ready to be mashed up and like put into the yeah.
Yeah,
what's your recipe for that? While here?
I got you. I'll send you one. That and avocados, man. I feel like avocados are killing me right now too. And I like to have avocado with my rice and beans, and I can't do that now because everybody's putting them on toast, so they're mad expensive. Like, make avocados 50 cents again.
You speaking my wife's language right there, bro. She avocados from Mexico.
Aguacate, man, that's my thing right there. I love me some aguacate. And so, like, make them 50 cents again. What happened?
Yeah, never gonna see 50 cent avocados, bro. All right, so last thing, man. So and we kind of touched on it. So I don't know how deep you want to go into it, but like, so our college campuses, like, we saw a whole ton of universities capitulate and succumb to the threats from the administration.
Preemptive compliance.
Only for those. Yes. And so, what are your thoughts?
I don't know that I have thoughts. I've never seen anything like this before. I don't think any of us have. I don't know what the future of higher ed is going to be, to be honest with you. I'm not even sure college presidents, most of them know what the future of higher ed is going to be. I've been in this space for 30 years now, and I am amazed at what is happening across the space, thanks to all the things both driven by the administration and not driven by the administration. My hope is that, these court wins start emboldening the boards of a lot of these institutions to push back, because I don't actually think it's the presidents. I actually think it's their board of trustees, right? And so, like, how do we help the presidents lean into their leadership? You need to have a supportive board, and so hopefully these wins enable them to be more forcefully push back on things that they know are anti-education, anti-intellectual, anti-higher ed, which continue to come out frequently from this administration.
Bro, so I just saw in Florida that they are giving the folks that are teaching sociology in Florida, they gave them like prescribed curriculum, right? Like you have to teach from this curriculum in higher ed, bro.
Yeah.
This is higher ed. Somebody came to me and they were like, "Hey, you need to teach this way." I'm like, "Yo, go fuck yourself."
I mean, I wish they were that focused on making sure they have they know how to teach, like, pedagogical expertise, and worry less about the content. But yeah, I mean, that type of oversight and control, even at the state level, is amazing, because that is not what higher ed has ever been used to. I taught college, you teach college. Like, my syllabus was my syllabus, the reading list was my reading list, the learning objectives are my learning objectives. And I'm sure the same is for you. And so the idea that somebody would say to me, no, you have to teach these learning objectives and these are the only texts you can use, that's my quickest way to not be teaching anymore.
I think that's a lot of people's ways to exit higher education, bro, because like nobody wants to be under that light to where you can't teach the way that you want to teach it, right? Like the goal of teaching a college level class is to master the objectives. How you do it is going to be totally different based off of the training that you have. Like if you based off of the training you have, you're going to teach it differently, but you should be able to teach it however you want to teach it in order for folks to master it the way that it needs to be mastered.
And I think that the problem here is that, we complain about this at the K-12 level, right? You have non-educators, elected officials, making the decision on what needs to be taught in classroom, and that doesn't make any sense to me, right? When you don't have folks who are educators making decisions around curriculum.
Agreed.
It's an anathema, right? I don't get it.
Final thoughts, bro. Take us out.
Final thoughts. We about to enter the Big East tournament time, and we're going to see if my number 17 St. John's Red Storm are for real or not. But I'm super excited. We haven't been ranked this high in a really long time, so I'm just riding it for as long as it's going to happen.
Bro, those rankings are a farce, bro. You're going to be probably number three ranked, and you're going out in the second round. Not even Sweet 16.
See how you are? I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet right now. We're going to do it.
Get y'all the hell up out of there. All right, folks. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks.
Peace. You ain't right talking about my Johnnies.
I know it. I know you love them.